Good morning, everyone. So today we are talking about we already had past 2 days multiple Rook related topics. So now on the last day we will see how we can. Let's say you already have a cluster and we not live in ideal world, right? So your cluster might have some problems. So you may need to debug and troubleshoot your Rook safe cluster. So in this we will be discussing about troubleshooting and debugging the Rook safe cluster. So I am Subham Rai. I work at IBM Storage and Parth introduce.
Yeah, I'm Parth Arora. I also work at IBM Storage and basically work as a developer in Rook.
Yeah, we primarily work in Rook and here operators and Kubernetes. So yeah, so this is the agenda. We will discuss about what is crew, introduction to crew, then what is crew and the name, the plugin that we have for our Rook is Rook Safe. So we will discuss about crew plugin. Oh, sorry. And then we'll go down the couple of commands that crew we support currently. So we'll start with installation and some basic commands, and then we will discuss about debug mode. Yeah, we will go in depth later on, and then this is the agenda. We will also have a demo recorded, so we'll see it live, and what are the future works and all the references if you need later on. So yeah. First, what is Crew? So Crew is like Kubernetes project. It makes it easy to install the Crew plugins using kubectl only. You don't need anything else. And Crew is like you can use Crew to install, discover other plugins, and to manage your machines cluster. And Crew is basically similar to any other yum DNF or Brook commands. And instead of this, we have a kubectl. And in our case, the name of the Crew plugin is RookSafe. So what is RookSafe plugin Crew is doing in Rook? So how it will help us? So Crew is we can use RookSafe Crew plugin to run the basic commands, manage our cluster, simplify the advanced operations. And it will help us debug, troubleshoot, and manage the RookSafe clusters. When you need to debug, it will help. And you may argument that we could have done something in Rook already. Let's have some CRD setting option so that operator can manage that. But it is a one-time operation, and CRD setting does not make sense. And it is kind of write operations, and generally we don't want the operator to do the write or delete operations. So that's why we made it separate from the original Rook repository and the project. And anything painful for troubleshooting, let us know. We'll like to get your input, and we'll like to add more commands in future. So, Parth, maybe you want to take
Yeah,
this.
sure. Thanks. So basically, I will talk about like the installation steps and how to basically use the commands, the basic commands. So first, like we have to install the Crew plugin. It's like provided by Kubernetes. We should install that Crew plugin first, and after that, we have built upon a plugin RookSafe Crew on the Crew, and we have to install it also. There are some installation steps how we can do it, and if you see like after installation, we'll show in the demo in deep how we are installing it.
We have attached the documentation
Yeah.
link to install.
So basically, if you see like if you want to get the safe status, so what do you guys do right now? We have to log into the toolbox and run the command, but what we directly want to run directly want to get the status, so it would help us like you just have to run the kubectl rook safe status. Yeah, you get the safe status directly. uh, the similar way you can update the config map, and you can adjust like whatever requirement you have, you can have the command for that directly. It's not just the you can run safe commands. You can have your custom commands also that you need to do. We'll take it afterwards, like what else processes it helps in maintenance and troubleshooting. Uh, so these are some commands that we'll show in the demo in deep. The status all, and the status of the CR. So talking about the debug mode, so you might have guys using the cluster and that went into the bad state, like OHDs are not working. So you have to remove that OHDs, right? So to get back the cluster in the working state. Uh, So what we have to do is there were so much manual interventions. Like we have to run the saf blue stores commands and the monstore tool commands. You know the headache. Like the QA guys might be knowing that. You have to run so much commands for that, and it's a long process. So with crew, it's like get to go. Just we have to run one command, and all the process the crew will take care of it. Uh, and there are other benefits also, like for this debug command. So whenever like QA was using the monster tool to get the new SD, they have to turn down the operator and do such stuff. But having using the crew, you don't have to turn down the operator. We will just add labels to the particular pods, and the operator won't reconcile to the that particular deployments, and but that deployment won't be reconciled. So operator still can work on the other daemons that we have. So that's one benefit that we get out of it. And the other is like if you have done some changes, like there is some code error and you want to change it and you want to test it also. So you can just provide your alternate image through the command, and you can just go and the pod will up with the new settings. We'll show like how the debug mode, what exactly it does at the backend. We'll show more deep in the demo. And also, there is Ceph cluster CR can cap reconciling on the other daemon. Yeah, it's same like operator won't be down for that. We'll show like in deep like how the debug command operates in the demo. And sure, thanks.
So let's say if you are starting with Rook Ceph cluster, you might, or you already have a cluster, you might have a question like, is my configurations good? Is my cluster in healthy state? Am I doing configuring everything right? So this command will help you with all these answers. So what this command currently does is it will check this all configuration, like at least these are minimum requirements to have your cluster at healthy state. So it will check at least you have 3 mon pods running on 3 different nodes, and you have a mon quorum and like Ceph status healthy, and then at least 3 OSD pods should be running on 3 different nodes, and all the pods are running, and the PG state, placement group state, and at least one manager should be running. We will plan to add more commands as we get input, like what other things you want to know, like if your cluster is healthy or not. We will happy to add that. And next command we will talk about is purge OSD. So let's say your OSD is bad, corrupted, and you want to remove. So currently we have a job that does that, but why you need a job? Like it will take some resources and it will take time. And with the crew plugin, it is a one-line command. This is one-line command. You enter and done. And we will see the demo of this. So we will come later in depth. And this is my favorite command. So I hope you don't need to use that because you need the mon column to have your cluster in healthy state. But again, we are not in ideal state. We may get mon column down because of n number of reasons. So in that case, you need your mon column back so that your Ceph cluster is healthy and you can continue the IO ops there. So yeah, mon column is critical for the Ceph cluster. If majority mons are gone, you need one good mon to bring back the mon column, and again it will be a single command. So you don't have to do much. Just run the command, single line command. It will do all the trick. It will also print all the logs in case you want to know what that is doing in the background. And we do have a documentation. We got the feedback from the community that it is very tedious, and again, no one wants to do all the manual if we can automate that. So yeah, so you just need to run this command, one line command, and these are one of the like logs, and it will ask you that are you sure you want to like proceed with the restore command, because again it is a delete operation, so we will make sure that user wants to proceed with that. So you have to first confirm that, okay, I really want to yes, really restore. So yeah, so now the demo time. I will not have my like house burning because I have already recorded. So yeah, we know that, right? Live demo never works correctly. So yeah, yes, Parth maybe.
Okay, thanks. So, is it played? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, it will automatically write the command. So here is the like one node cluster that we have, and we'll uh, have some crew commands over it and let you know like how it would be working.
So we already have the Rook Ceph cluster there, and this is a single node cluster.
And yeah, I guess crew is already installed, and uh,
So these are
this is the plugin, and these are the commands that we can have with the crew. Uh, and there is a crew install command. So using install command, what we can do is we can install our own Rookceph plugin. If we do crew like kubectl crew install Rookceph, then you can fetch the Rookceph plugin that we have made. And yeah, it will list
So these are
different.
some importance command like go back. Pause that. Yeah. So with search, you can search all the plugins. What are the plugins available, and uninstall in case you want to uninstall, and then upgrade, and then search list. So, yeah.
I guess we'll go ahead and see the Ceph status now.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll do first crew list. So I
the-
already have installed.
Yeah, Rookceph is already there. You can see, guys. Make it fast forward, maybe.
You went ahead.
So I guess just we entered Rookceph without command, so it just failed because there was no parameter that we have passed. So it will list down like what all crew commands you can use. It's just a help kind of thing to know what all things you can do with crew. And yeah, now you see like if you just run the kubectl Rookceph Ceph status, you get the Ceph status. You don't have to log into the toolbox and do like sh and do the other things just by one command. And similar, we can use the other formats also like pretty JSON and all with this. Yeah. And yeah, good to go with that. And I guess these are some basic commands that we have wrote for the introduction. And
So
I guess this will change the debug level in the config map, like what we have. And I guess you can proceed with that. Now comes the debug part. Yeah, it's the important one. Like this might be most useful case for it.
So you see the D, right? D means the debug.
Uh,
So we change the log label in the CSI config map. Sorry, Rook operator config map, and that will change the log label to debug.
Yeah.
This is one of the commands.
Yeah, it's just a verification that the config map was changed to the debug level. And
Back.
now comes
Duplicate.
play.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the Rook status. It will just fetch the CR, the Ceph cluster status, and just give the output of that. If you do the Rook status, you won't have to get in the Ceph cluster and get the status. You just run Rook status for that.
and that command is useful. Like the cluster CI status prints all the capacity left, uses, and all. And if you go back. So and the CI status also prints the what version of your other Ceph daemons are running on. So yeah, you see it like you can see all the details there. So yeah.
And there are different CRs. If you want to get the CR status of different, you can do it all, like for all, or maybe you can pass the custom CR name for that, and it will get the status of the custom, like the CR that you just want the status of it. So we are just changing to the Ceph cluster. So by default it's Ceph cluster, but we can pass the argument. It will get that. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Now comes the debug thing that we need to do. So let's assume like your cluster OSD is in bad state, and this is for the mon, and you want to like use the ceph mon store tool command, and so what the process it will do inside. So as you see, like if I run the debug command, what all things it would be doing in the backend. So basically, what it will do is it will stop the deployment, whichever deployment it's the pod was running on, and it will create a new deployment, the debug deployment pod. It will add a suffix to it, debug, to the exact deployment what you had. It will copy all the deployment spec and give it to the debug pod only, and also will copy the labels and all, and we'll also add a new label that will tell the Rook operator to don't reconcile over this debug deployment pod that we have created. And yeah, we'll and also we'll run the like make the container command to be the placeholder, because to run it infinite, as we can run any command over it. So you can see that the if I run just debug start rooks of manb, these the pod is down and the debug pod is scaled up back, and other backend things are all pretty done. Now, if you do the kubectl get pods, now you might see there is a debug pod that's been started. So yeah, great. It's running. You can access into it. You can run any mon blue store command, anything that you want, or maybe you can pass the alternate image also if you want to like have some customized debugging that you want. And yeah, there's undo deployment. Add it. And similar way, we'll just have for the stop also. We'll scale down this deployment. We'll scale up the main deployment when the work is done, and yeah, boom, we have the maintenance done. I guess this is will be for stop. Yep. And yeah, I guess Shubham, you may want to continue. Thanks.
Thank you. So you can see now that there are no debug deployment now, and we will wait for the original mons to come up, and this is still in terminating state, so that's why we have a 0 deployment running. So I just fast forward that. Okay, this is the, yeah, we went ahead. So yeah, we can see that the original, and it was B, right? Yes, we can see that this is in ready state and yeah, available. So next we will discuss about the purge OSD, what it does. And also, I forgot to mention that we will discuss about what the use case of this debug mode, and yeah, we will come to that later. So let's say you have your OSDs in bad state and you want to remove your OSD from the cluster. So and this is a command that will help you. But let's say you entered the wrong OSD ID and your OSD is in healthy state, so it will say that it cannot remove unless it is down. So I will first mark the OSD out. Okay, OSD is 0. So yeah, I'm running the ceph command, ceph OSD out 0. I'm running this command so that ceph can balance the data that was on OSD 0 to other OSDs. So and let's say if you again run the command, it will say OSD is healthy, because we have just marked the OSD out, but still that OSD is not in bad state. So what I will do to get in that condition is I will bring the deployment down so that Ceph get to know that okay, this OSD is down and not in healthy state. So okay, 1 second. Yes, you see in the bottom right. So earlier I may have entered wrong command. 1 second. Yeah. So just yeah. So I'm scaling down the OSD 0 deployment so that OSD is out, and Ceph will know that okay, this is not a healthy OSD, and yeah, we can see that there are no OSD, so we have removed the OSD, and now we are trying to run that Rook was OSD 0 again, and it will say that okay, OSD is marked out, and it will try to remove now. It will wait and attempt. So your OSD is removed from your cluster. We will validate that. So yeah, we don't have the deployments and all. So yeah, your bad OSD is removed from the cluster. So yeah, you don't have to create all the jobs and delete that job, and yeah. it will save your time. Just to enter one command and done. Now we will discuss about that mon column that we discussed earlier briefly. So Parth explained about the debug mode, right? And the main one of the use case of the debug mode is we are using the debug mode in the mon column. So yeah, you see the one of the helpful help that does debug mode. So yeah. Oh, sorry, I went right. We'll first discuss about the health, cluster health. Sorry. Okay, so we first see if your configurations are right or not. That with the health command you can see. And I'm not sure if you're noticing this color thing. So info is means good. We are just printing the logs, and warning says okay, this is not a good state, but still you can proceed. And I'm not sure if I will have the red thing. That will no, sorry. So we also have a red thing. Let's say if something is really bad, it will print in red. So you get your attention there and try to fix that. So okay, so I'll discuss what this command does and print. So you get the idea. So yeah, it will first check if you all the three mon pods are running on different node. And as I said earlier that I have a single node minikube cluster. That's why I am getting a warning that at least 3 mon pods should be running on different node. And then I am checking if mon column and the Ceph health details. So it says that okay, cluster health is okay. And then I'm again checking 3 USD pods on different node. No, so I don't have that. And it says yeah, I have the single node cluster, and also I don't have the 3 disk. And it will print all the pods that are running and not running state, and then the PG state. So you get the PG state there, and so it will basically help you get your cluster health status, and you can know what is going wrong and you can fix that. So now I think we will move to the mon column finally. So yeah, we are printing that. So yeah, okay, I'll see that red thing. I'll show you that. 1 second. Go. Yeah, you see this red, right? So you can get all your attention there. So yeah, I really like that color thing, so I am emphasizing on that. So now we'll discuss about the restore command. So as a admin or the user who is running that command, you first have to know that how we can get the good mon ID. So that you have to do. There are a lot of Ceph commands you can get. So from there you can know like which mon is a good mon, and you can check the epoch status in mon dump Ceph mon dump command. So yeah, from there you can know which mon is leader, and based on that you can write the mon ID there, and then we'll start the restoring the column. So these are all the logs for the user or like the admin who is running the command for their information. So these are all the mons A, B, C, and so in this case we require the toolbox pod, and we don't have the toolbox, so I will run the command again, and here it is just confirming that okay, you are so sure that you want to restore the column and based on mon A. So you have to enter this yes, really restore. After that it will be proceed. I'll write that. And see, we are proceeding. So these are all the operations that is doing in the background. These logs are helpful for the admin to know like what is happening, and for us also, like we can ask if someone is facing some issue with the command, they can always log this in the GitHub issues or comments, so that we get the idea where it is failing and what is going wrong. So these logs are useful. So yeah, you get the idea what is all doing. So we are waiting for the operator pod and the mon pods to stop. So these are the requirements. Okay, and I'll print what we are doing. Oh, sorry. It will wait. These are all the logs. I will explain what it is all doing. One moment. Let's first finish this. So now everything is stored, and we are trying. We are waiting for the Ceph status to confirm that single column is restored. I may forward. Yeah. So in case you have your cluster on cloud-based, we also have to remove all the resources. So these are the warnings. Since I had the Minikube cluster, I don't add that. And once everything is good, it will again ask that, okay, you are satisfied. And again, you just enter, and now your operator will restart and your quorum will be full. Let's just confirm that. Is it running? We're moving forward. Yeah. So you see now you have all the, so earlier we had mon A, B, C, right? And now we have A, D, E, because B and C is, the command thought that, okay, these are the bad mon, we have to remove those and bring other mons to be in quorum. So what we do in the background is we first print, we get the mon map, and then using some ceph commands like mon map tool to remove the bad OSDs from that mon map, and then again we inject the good mon map, and we start the mon pods again. So yeah, that was the demo, and we will move again. So yeah, Parth, you want to cover?
Yeah, no problem. So some future works that we want to add on. We have also converted justly like this. We made this library in the shell script. We converted to the Golang currently, and there are some debugging commands and mon quorum we have to add it, recovering the ceph cluster CR if it's deleted accidentally, and automate the collection of performance profiling information. So yeah, it's like improving.
So this is one of the, like, I think watch out command for, because let's say if you all the mons are out and down, then also you want your cluster to be in healthy state, right? So we are in future work we are planning to work on this too. Currently we are doing some internal changes in the plugin in the repository, so we don't have any latest releases. So hopefully we will have all this in the coming releases. So, yeah.
These are some references.
If you want to look at.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks. Thank you so much.
Any questions you have? Any feedback?
It will be very grateful if you give some feedback to this tool and what all improvements you need. And yeah, welcome to the questions.
Will the namespace be inherited from kubectl?
Yeah.
So you can
I-
specify the namespace also.
Yeah, you can specify both. Let's say you have your Rook operator is running on different namespace and your Ceph cluster is running on different namespace. So you can pass both namespace. I may have that somewhere in the demo. I can show that. Yeah, here. So we have this -FN namespace for this. This is for the Ceph cluster in which your Ceph cluster is running. And let's say you have your operator running on different namespace, so you can always pass that. So yeah.
Okay, so rookceph is the default.
Yeah, default Rook Ceph. That what we have in Rook as a default Rook Ceph, so we are using that default.
I see that the demo was done with Minikube.
Yes,
Have you tested with OpenShift Local?
Yeah, it works with OpenShift.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The prerequisite is you need crew to install once, and then yeah, it works.
How do you see the toolbox fitting in with your tool? When would you use the toolbox and not your tool?
So I think if you are using toolbox just to run Ceph commands, then I don't think you need the toolbox. You can just use the Ceph status, right? Rook Ceph and then any Ceph commands, until unless you want to do something specific. Let's say mon quorum thing, restoring the mon quorum, then you need the toolbox mode. And I don't think any other case, like if you just want to run the commands, I don't think toolbox is needed.
Okay.
No, that is the mon or OSD debug pod. So let's say you want to test your some custom mon build image. You don't need the whole cluster down. You just use the debug mode. I'm saying one of the example of debug mode uses.
Just needed with this mon quorum,
Yeah.
restoring the mon quorum.
So I some more follow-up questions. I was hoping when you were going to debug like the mon B that I was going to you be dropped into some SSH session where I could actually look at debug logs on MonB, but I maybe understand why that is impossible. But I noticed you're actually restarting the mon when that happens. So is the I guess the assumption is that when it comes back up, it's going, whatever problem is occurring will continue to occur, and you can start debugging that.
Basically, these tools are like the blue store monstore tool is used to like replace the OSD or do something debug for the OSD. So something can be come back. We won't. We bring that pod only as that. I don't know like what deep inside the monstore tool, but if something is recovered, then we will bring back that pod only. Otherwise, we have to start another pod.
So we got feedback from some of our support team that we do want, we use debug mode to troubleshoot some of their scenarios, and they requested if you could have something in crew. Because for currently what support, at least I know about our support team does is like they have a lot of process to get the debug mode running in Ceph. So we wanted to, we can get the use case of where from the support team what use case they have for the debug mode. But one of the use case I said, right, we use the debug mode for the restoring mon column. So for those scenarios, you can use the debug mode.
One thing I'll add then, I think debug mode, so when you're debugging a mon or an OSD, you're not actually, that daemon isn't actually running. It brings up the pod in a mode where you can run commands against that, the mon or the OSD in that environment, but the daemon itself is not running.
Okay.
Yeah, so the debug mode means the pod environment is there without the daemon running, so you can run commands against it while it's offline.
So as a selfish developer, I would maybe want to like start it as with GDB and see what's going on.
Right. So it's not really the GDB environment; it's just the pod.
Just the pod. Okay.
With the daemon down.
Okay. Does someone else have a question, or I can continue with the mic?
Suggestion.
Yeah, sure.
Why not have like an easy way to set up like you have Minikube, just like your assumption is that you have a running cluster. Why not provide the ability to spin up a new cluster?
I guess
We can do, but still, this is very early phase of the tool, and we may in the future, if we get some request based on that, we can do that. Yeah.
another thing is like starting a cluster is like we need so much custom things for that, and every user has some different settings that they want. So we cannot generalize the things, right?
Any more questions?
Instead of that, like it's kind of a package for debugging. We do have Helm charts, so you can get started with using Rook easily by maybe just Helm install and then run the command. It will try to install most of the things for Ceph in general and Rook. Travis, do you want to?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So answer is we can always do that, but based on the requirement.
There is a quick start guide for Rook as well, and there like you just clone the repository, and it's three line command, and it will deploy a Rook operator, and then the resources, custom resources needed, and then the OSDs. You do not have to take care of the aspect that oh, this is the hard drive. You have to like install a OSD for it. It will just the Rook operator will sense it and intelligently kind of deploy the resources needed for Ceph. And if you want to expand, you can just add another node, and Rook operator will take care of kind of expanding your cluster for you.
Maybe I'll add something.
We get your point, but
I guess they are saying we are out of time, so we can meet in backyard, I guess. Travis, if you want last comment, any?
I think we'll just think offline. Definitely curious to hear more about how we can do everything with one tool, but the intent of the crew plugin is for troubleshooting, not necessarily desired state stuff.
thank you.